So the exchange rate import is a one-step process that imports directly into GP multi-currency tables. We have an import module that provides an unattended process for updating currency exchange rates on a daily basis. And it is how we work simpler and easier in Dynamics GP. No more time wasted researching exchange rates. We simplify our accounting operations with automated imports of currency exchange rates into the GP exchange rate tables. And their rates are available from 4 different services or exchange services. Okay, it's an important extension to the GP multi-currency management module. It uses advanced .NET technology to automatically load currency exchange rates. And once set up, it's complete. The exchange rate tool provides an unattended automated process to import those exchange rates on a daily basis. So these are the 4 services that we support: the European Central Bank, Bank of Canada, Commonwealth Foreign Exchange, Open Exchange Rate. This 4th option is the most popular because it doesn't require a subscription, and you can set it up for free. And so that's why most people opt for that one, but we use all 4 of these. So it's really just a choice, whichever supports the currency that you would like to use. Okay, so what's really important inside Dynamics GP, we have on the administration homepage, we have an exchange rate import setup window, and we just simply set our exchange tables up in there. These are how we select our currencies and set these currencies up and the relationships between them from originating to functional. If you're using multi-currency today, you already have that in place. Okay, so I'm just trying to minimize this because I want to take you back to, I want to show you inside GP real quick. Okay, so all right, so we're inside of Dynamics GP here. And if I go to the administration homepage, what I want to show you is this. We have in the setup section the ability to set up our currency, and it's all just here in this little section under system. So currency and exchange table. Let's look at this exchange table palette. Here's where this is kind of where we integrate with GP, is in this window. So you're going to have your exchange table relationship here, and we like it to look similar to this, where you're telling us you're going from which rate to which other rate. So this is Canadian to US dollar. The currency ID is ZC $ for Canadian dollars, and we're going to use the European exchange rate here from the European Central Bank, and that's why we just noted that as the service we're choosing here, ECB. We're going to have our rate frequency on a weekly basis. You can see there's other options here, but weekly is typically what we see. We want the rate calculation to be multiply. We want the rate default to be previous date, and we'd like the unexpired rates to say unlimited. So this is a very typical configuration for our different currencies. Now, if I click on rates, what we'll see here are that the rates get updated on a daily basis with our update engine. Our exchange rate import module is the one that updates these, and it does it on at whatever time we set in our task scheduler. So we do use Windows Task Scheduler to schedule our tasks to run at a certain time, and that is when the new rate comes down each day. So you can always drill into GP and see if it's updated that day and see what the new rate is. Okay, exchange rate import tool does sit outside of GP, however, and so if I just show you that, sorry, to close that window first. Okay, so we have the exchange rate import tool that sits outside of GP. Here it is right here. It's got the little sun and mountain icon. And what you're going to choose here is in your configuration, which of your companies do you want to go into? So in this case, I just have a Fabricam environment. So I'm going to go into the to database, and I'm going to show you that we have a database mapping window, we have a registration window, and then we have a service. Now this is where you select which service you'd like to use, and the URL of the one you've chosen goes up here in the blank line, and then we can click test, and it will go out and connect to that service and bring back the rates. Okay, and then lastly, on this currency tab, this is where all of the currencies you have set up in GP are visible here, and that's when we decide, are we disabling any of them? What is the functional offset for these different relationships? So it's usually just this functional column that we're completing, and then we're disabling anything that you'd like to turn off. And that's all that's happening in this window in our program. Okay, so very easy setup and configuration of the exchange rate import tool. Okay, now last step is we have a window scheduler, which I already have up. So you go to task scheduler and you would set up just a very basic task schedule here, which you indicate when and how often you would like the task to be run. So we've got all these different tabs here that we set up, but you'll notice that mine's running every morning on this schedule, Monday through Friday, beginning on this date and at 7:30 a.m. Okay, so a very easy task scheduler setup here in place. And we have, that's the bulk of the heavy lifting here is just to get that in place. And then what you'll see inside of our import tool is just that we can look at logs of whether the import was successful on a daily basis or not. And we can always come back into GP and change or add to any of our listings. So if you wanted to have more currency exchange relationships, we can set those up under system and get those in place for you. But basically, it's a very easy setup. This probably takes half hour to install and half hour to configure at most. So it goes very quickly. And again, that task scheduler is what automates our entire solution. It basically gets triggered at the time you've set it for, and those rates come in. And then throughout the day, as your accounting team is putting transactions into GP, those new rates are getting triggered and the math happens. Okay, so that is everything that I wanted to show you inside GP and inside our exchange rate import tool. Let me go back to my slideshow. Okay, you'll notice here that we have our download history, and that's what I was referring to earlier. We have a history of our rates. It is possible if something happens in your rates, you skipped a day, for instance, for some reason, it is possible for us to get back to up to 90 days of rates, especially if you're using European Central Bank. They make that very easy from that service. Okay, and so that is what I wanted to show you. I hope that I can answer any of your questions. Does anybody have any questions for me and I can answer them?
Yes, please put them in the chat pane and we will get to them. If Ginger, I have a question. If people are using the multi-currency module, does this replace it or does this?
No, it just
okay,
automates it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we
Okay,
have
well,
a quiet group today.
That's okay. So
oh, we got one.
Oh, good. Okay.
Do you only update rates daily or can you upload weekly and month-end rates?
Yes, we can do any of those. We can do daily, weekly, monthly. You choose.
I assume daily is probably the best one because I don't know, do they update them that often?
Well, we usually recommend weekly actually, but you could opt to do daily. Now, the only caveat that we have about daily is there aren't rate updates over the weekend. So Friday to Monday becomes kind of a tricky a sticking point because you want to make sure on Monday morning you get the Monday rate and you're not using Friday's rate. So there's just a little bit of warning there when we're doing a daily rate that we're stuck with Friday's rate until we actually download Monday's rate. Just want to make sure everybody understands that. And then on holidays as well.
Oh, someone's raising their hand. All right, I'm going to Okay. Can you run a manual if you need something updated more than the scheduled import?
Yes, absolutely. And that's when you come into our program and you click that Get Rates button, and it will download the rate as of that moment. So, yeah, you can always do that. That's kind of like an override. And it's really in addition to when it already came down that morning. You can bring it down as many times during the day as you need to.
And Bruce,
Okay.
I see you raised your hand, so I'm gonna unmute you. Oh. So Bruce wants to be unmuted. Here, sorry, Bruce. I'm going to unmute you. That's if I can. Let's see. It's not letting me. Huh. Hold on. Let me see if I can do it that way. No. Why doesn't it let me unmute him? Okay. Bruce, if you put
Uh,
your question in. Oh,
yeah,
here we go.
yeah. It came up and asked me if I wanted to be unmuted, so it did work.
Ah,
Yeah, thank you. Yes, we use the multi-currency. My question is if you're loading the rates weekly, but you're entering transactions into GP daily.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't quite understand because we enter our rates in daily, and
Yep.
we would need them daily.
Daily.
The next because we enter in the next morning. So
Right.
currently our corporate office provides the the daily rates, and they also provide a month-end rate because we use management reporter. But
Mm-hmm.
but that's what I'm saying. If I got to go back to them and say yes, we can provide where we upload it daily based upon find out which of those services they use to
Right.
get the daily rates, because we have to tie to our corporate office because we have companies all over the world globally that are out of different ERPs. Not everybody uses GP. We use GP. Other companies use AX and JD Edwards or whatever, and they're all pushing data to
Mm-hmm.
to this one system at the end of the day. But yeah, we'd have to have the daily rates because we're in daily transactions. We want them converted at that point.
Right. Yeah, you can definitely set it up to be daily. That's not a problem. We definitely accommodate that. And then, like I said, if you needed to, maybe go and update at the end of the day for any reason, you can do a manual update at that time. But there's no problem running daily. I just like to warn people that there are gaps whenever there's not going to be a daily rate, and we just need to understand when those are, like holidays and the weekend.
Well, yeah, we have those too. We would
Mhm.
enter in, you wouldn't enter a rate on a holiday or a rate on a weekend either.
Right.
So it would just need to be able to do that. Okay, I
Hmm.
guess the next step would be understanding the cost of this particular add-on tool and
Yep.
so that's the only other thing I would have.
Okay. Yep. We can definitely. I can email you that information. Um,
Okay, that would be
we do
good.
have,
After this.
yeah, Bruce, I'll send it. We'll send it in the follow-up email with the recording so that everybody has it. That's not a problem. I'll make a note of that to put it in there.
Okay, well you can mute me like my wife does.
And then Jessica asks if you could demonstrate again how to run a manual update. Sorry if I missed it, she said.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no problem. So inside of GP, we have, this exchange table, right? And so this is where we would click to see where the rates were last loaded, right? But if we wanted to load them again, we actually go into the exchange rate import tool. Let me just get there. And choose the company that you would like to go into, because you might have multiple companies that you're bringing rates in for. And here you can, in the database here, you have to make sure you're connected and that all of these things are running, but I would assume that they are. So let's just, we'll assume that they are, and I can close that back up. But here you can just click get rates. So literally all you have to do is launch exchange rate import and click on get rates, and it'll bring in the rates, and it'll tell you if they are updated or if it's the same. If it hasn't changed, it won't update. So these won't be saved because the rate didn't change from the last time you updated them, but it does confirm for you that you have the newest rate. Okay. So you just launch our program and click Get Rates.
She said, thank you.
Okay. Great. Any other questions?
That looks like that's all of them. If you have any more though, please feel free to put them in. And again, we will put the pricing in the email as well with the recording in case anybody else liked to have that. I figure everybody would. And then we also do offer free trials as well. So you can certainly try it out for 30 days in your environment to see how it works. And we'll send information on that too.
So you would be allowed to, we have a dev environment and QA environment, so we'd be
Yep.
able to load it and, okay, great.
Yep.
Sure. Okay, and you'll notice that my slide here that I'm stuck on is just, we at Rockton value your feedback. And so we have a promotion here, which, you know, if you write a review about one of our products, each review will receive a $50 donation to the charity of your choice. So just submit your review to customersrock@rocktonsoftware.com and we'll put that in motion. Okay, great. If you need any further information, sales@rocktonsoftware.com is the email, and here's our phone number.
Might be another question. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me just see if I can, what the heck? Sometimes I can get in here very easily and sometimes I can't. Oh no, I said there was, but no, I don't see one. I think we're good. I hope.
Okay, great. Well, thank you everyone for your time, and please let us know if there are any further questions, especially after you receive our pricing information. If you'd like a trial or you'd like to buy the product, please let us know.
Yes, thank you everyone. Have a great, wonderful day.
Thanks.